Unrest in Venezuela continues today as the Lima Group gathered for an emergency meeting in Peru. The group, including Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland, came together to discuss the ongoing crisis that's gripped the country now for months. Opposition leader Juan Guaido has been rallying his supporters to protest all week in Venezuela. Guaido called for a military and popular uprising to topple President Nicolas Maduro's government. Thousands of anti-government demonstrators took to the streets in Caracas this week, but their efforts have so far failed. Today, gunfire rang out near the Simón Bolívar International Bridge on the border between Colombia and Venezuela. For the latest on this developing story, we've reached a VOA News correspondent, Celia Mendoza, who was at that Lima Group meeting in Peru. Hi, Celia. Nice to see you. Thank you for your time today.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.
So the meeting has wrapped, and I understand that they have released, sort of a communication of 15 points. Some of them are indicative of what we heard from members of the group before, but some of them are new. Can you go over what you think is relevant there?
Definitely. Something that we saw new during this meeting is the inclusion of other countries which are not part of the Lima Group that was established in 2017, and they has had a group of countries that has always supported the opposition. During this meeting, we had the presence of the foreign minister of Ecuador as well as the foreign minister of Costa Rica. Both of them are members of the contact group. It's an international group that includes the European Union as well as some members like Bolivia, which are close allies of the government of Nicolas Maduro. This group has started a series of meetings. Actually, they're meeting next week in Costa Rica for the third time. And what they want to do is try to bring them together and start communication between both of the groups. And that is important because it means that they really want to move forward with a solution. And we have heard that the opposition does not want to have any sort of dialogue with the government of Nicolas Maduro. And this could be a sign that these two groups might be the possibility of starting some sort of political process to bring the two sides together. They also made a call to the United Nations and tried to get the Secretary General to actually become part of a process of dialogue. So far, the Secretary General has established a position of being neutral, not taking sides, and then be able to have their good offices to start a process to dialogue. But the other point that I believe is very important, and it is the first time that we see the name of Cuba being one of the countries that they're trying to reach to and be able to have them as partners and dialogues to be able to change the situation in Venezuela. One of the important things here is that they have recognized that it's influenced by the government of the President of Cuba, Díaz-Canel, to make a change, to make an impact on the current situation in Venezuela. And that is something that is significant after many meetings, many years working on this process. This is the first time that we're trying, or we have seen any inclusion of countries like those that are very close to the government of Nicolas Maduro.
Celia, you mentioned the idea of discussions around some kind of political process to move this forward. Is there an acknowledgement today in the meetings that took place or among the leaders who were present that that type of political process is going to have to be necessary, that what's happening, the uprisings and everything within the borders of Venezuela might not be enough to see any kind of change?
It's something that is actually particular. They are trying to get the political options. The foreign minister of Peru, who actually answered questions from reporters, said that they're open to reach out to different countries, whichever countries they are. But at the same time, they said that they are supporting any actions by Juan Guaido, and especially the freedom operation that was launched this week to try to accomplish what they want to accomplish. And what they said is to get a political process started that ends with the exit of Nicolas Maduro. So what we saw is that they believe that these conversations are necessary, that it's important that the people keep doing what they're doing in Venezuela, but that they need the international community to actually get pressure to Nicolas Maduro to get them out of there. And that is something that probably they believe needs the assistance of other countries. And this happens in the context of the conversations that the United States are doing with Russia, the possibility of a meeting between Sergei Lavrov as well as Mike Pompeo, and the conversation today between Donald Trump and the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, who were talking about specifically about Venezuela, where President Trump said that he believes that Russia has similar intentions in terms of humanitarian help to Venezuela. That was a question that we made directly to this group, and they believe that any sort of talks are important if leading to a possibility of a political solution. This, of course, in the context of the comments of the Security Council member, Mr. Bolton, as well as the Secretary of State, when they have said the possibility of a military action is not off the table.
For sure. All right. Thank you so much, Celia. Really appreciate that update. That's VOA News correspondent Celia Mendoza for us in Lima, Peru. Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video. Thanks for watching.